Hey, welcome World Entertainment, and there's a lot of rumours doing the rounds now about the future of the X-Men and stuff like that. And one of the questions now is Alien Romulus 2. Is it happening? Because actress Kaylee Spaney, who of course is Rain, was that her name? Wasn't she Rain in Alien Romulus? Is rumoured to be up for the role of Rogue in the X-Men. However, her co-star, David Johnson from Alien Romulus, is officially cast as the new Black Panther in Black Panther 3. Well, word on the street now, because of all of this, is that Alien Romulus 2 has been shelved. However, it doesn't seem to be fully because of the MCU moving forward. I did hit the mic stand. Oopsie poopsies. Apparently, Ridley Scott has a big hand to play in this. So, from the sounds of things, everything regarding Alien Romulus 2, or whatever it would have ended up being called, is a total disaster from what we're hearing. Now, we know originally Fede Alvarez was meant to write and direct it. Then he decided to walk away from directing it, but he was still writing it and was going to be there as an executive producer, which is pretty much in name and name only. Everything now seems to be an absolute mess. And the rumours about X-Men castings and stuff isn't helping the cause. So, I'll break down an article that kind of goes over this. Now, the part with Kaylee Spaney is rumour at this stage. And where it comes from is Daniel Richmond. So, we'll take it with a massive grain of salt. But everything else seems to be kind of... it seems to be what the story was going to evolve to be, and Ridley Scott. So it's saying the Alien Romulus sequel is reportedly dead, and the finger is being pointed at Ridley Scott. However, that may mean good news for Marvel. Now, obviously, the good news is that it means there's nothing in the way of David Johnson being Black Panther, which there now officially isn't anyway, because he's officially cast. By the way, none of these actors have been contracted to doing the sequel to Alien Romulus. Keep that in mind. David Johnson has already come out and said he doesn't really have any interest in playing Andy again. So, I think that also was a bit of a screw in the works here. So it says, World of Real reports the follow-up to Fede Alvarez's 2024 hit has been indefinitely shelved and might never happen. The site notes they sat on the story for a while because it came from a single source, albeit one they all call among their most reliable. So file this under rumour for now. I have a bloody hair or something on my nose and it's itching like bejesus. So I do like that they've had this story for a while, but they were like, it's only come from one source. Even though they're reliable, we want to get more information. So that's good on their part. So Ridley Scott reportedly killed a plan. So per the report, Alvarez wanted to bring back Michael Fassbender's David for the sequel. The actor was practically signed and a final draft of the script had been written. Scott, Ridley Scott that is, who produces the films and introduced the David character in Prometheus, then refused to let the android appear in another director's film. Because Ridley Scott did so well with his stories, huh? So that reportedly sent the project into a tailspin. So they wanted to bring in David, and Ridley Scott apparently went, hell no, and shot this thing. This is where I'm always questioning, why is Ridley Scott getting so much power over this franchise? Disney seems to have handed the franchise to. It seems like they think he created the Alien franchise. He didn't. He directed the first movie. That's it. The story, everything for the first movie was in place. Before the last minute, they went, we need someone to direct this. Hey, Ridley Scott, how do you feel about directing? And then he refused to do the sequels. He walked away. He shit all over them for years, and then he eventually came back, and his whole attitude was, the beast is dead. Androids is the way to go. He made 2 dog shit movies, but he's still, like, ruining everything with this franchise. So Alvarez, who had confirmed pre-production was underway with cameras set to roll in October, suddenly exited and moved on. Now, this part's a bit confusing the way that's worded, because he moved on last year, I think it was. So when they say that, are they talking about October last year or this year? Because he stepped down from directing it. I'm pretty sure it was last year, and was saying he was staying on to write it and be an executive producer on it. But here's where it gets also very interesting. So 20th Century then went from one Evil Dead director to another, approaching Evil Dead Burns, Sebastian, I'm not sure how you pronounce this, Vanecke, I think, possibly, probably butchered that. But those talks collapsed as well. Rumi floats the possibility, I'm not sure who or what Rumi is, but it says Rumi floats the possibility Scott interfered there too. So they're talking about Ridley Scott has shot down other directors taking control as well. Which is a real question of, like, why? Like, the Alien Romulus movie, you had nothing to do with. Yeah, you're an executive producer in name and name alone, but you've nothing to do with any of this. So I don't understand why all of a sudden he's shooting down the stories, and he's shooting, like, all they have to do is, okay, we just changed David out for another, like, Andy or something. It could be easy to do that, but whatever. So the writing has been on the wall all week. David Johnson, who played the android Andy, was just revealed as Marvel's new Black Panther during Marvel's Hall H panel at Comic-Con, with Black Panther 3 dated for December 2028. Now Kaylee Spaney is following him into the MCU. Is she though? So Scooper Daniel Richmond reports Rain herself is in talks to play Rogue in Marvel Studios' X-Men movie. Treat that as a rumor until Marvel says so. But her name lands in an X-Men casting rumor mill that has already been out of control. And this time it comes with the word talks attached. So both the leads of Alien Romulus are now headed to Marvel Studios, while the sequel that would have reunited them sits on the shelf. So, as you can see, as much as they're kind of pointing towards it's the idea that it's because Andy Johnson, David Johnson is going to be Black Panther, and Kaylee Spaney is rumoured, and the rumour comes from Daniel Richmond, so is rumoured to be Rogue in X-Men. All fingers are pointing to, no, it's Ridley Scott is being the thorn in the side, that he's shooting down the idea for the story for the movie, and he's shooting down directors for the movie. They need to turn around and go, Ridley, we know what you've done for the industry and we thank you very much, but right now when it comes to these movies and what we plan to do, fuck off. That's what they need to do. There's no if, buts, ands about it. Get him as far away from these franchises as you can possibly get him. He is nothing but a hindrance at this stage, and all he's been doing for the past decade or more is destroying his own legacy. He's destroyed his Alien legacy with Prometheus and Covenant. He's destroyed his legacy of Gladiator with a god-awful, unwanted sequel, and he's just doubles down on all this crap, and now he's actively interfering. So Alien 5 didn't happen because of him, because he wanted to do Alien Covenant, or the sequel to that, which was never going to happen because those movies bombed. And now he's apparently shut down and got cancelled Alien Romulus 2 because he's shooting down their story ideas, but he's also blocking the director. So get him as far away from this, but at the same time, the one thing I have said all along when it comes to Alien Romulus is I really didn't want the story to continue with Rain and Andy, because their story was wrapped up. That is the thing. It was completely wrapped up. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's once Fede Alvarez said he wasn't going to direct, this thing seemed to be in doubt anyway. But with this, with Ridley Scott and now the Marvel end of things, it seems like it probably is as good as dead. But let me know what you guys think. Are you disappointed by this? Are you glad it's not happening? Do let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.